Okay, so good morning, everybody. Now I hope, I think it's audible, right? Hello, is it audible?
Yes,
Yes,
sir,
sir.
it is audible.
Okay, so I think you have all prepared well for examination, and the exam was very easy, kind of things, right? So you hope you all have completed your task very efficiently, and when the results will be declared, so you all will be get the good marks of this. Now today is the first lecture after the mid-sem examination. It is essential that we discuss about the mid-semester examination paper and what are the right answers of the questions that you have written for. So today's lecture we will spend to discuss about the mid-semester examination paper, and we will start the new chapters from tomorrow. So tomorrow we are going to start the new chapters, probably the Laplace transform. We left with the three more chapters: Laplace transform, followed by the Z transform, and then lastly we discuss about the sampling theorems and related principles. So we have to deal with only three chapters at max, and today we are spending the times to solve the mid-semester examination paper. So I'm going to share my screen with you, and once it is visible, you just confirm me. Okay. So here we are going to start with this one. Today is the 13th March, right? I think so. And here we discuss about the first question. So there are 20 questions are given as a multiple choice kind of a questions, and the remaining questions are a descriptive kind of a question, in which you have to write, you have to upload the files, and you have to complete the task. So first task is, what is the power of the following signal? So this where we have you have been given a g of t is equal to 22 sine 5 of t into cos 10 of t. I hope the things are visible, and my voice is audible from your end, at your end, right? So we are going to discuss about about this processing, that g of t is a 22 sine into cos 10t. So if such kind of a signals are there, you need to divide in a two part. So we can divide in a two part. It's 11 to sine 5t into cos 10t. I think it's visible, right? Okay. So 2 sine 5t into cos 10t is simple defined as a sine 10 plus 5, so 15t plus sine 10t minus 5t, so it's a 5t. So what is left with is, we have a two terms are there, and both the terms has a amplitude 11. So we can have to write it's 11 time of sine 15t plus 11 time of sine 5t. Right? Sine and cos maybe anything like that. But if you find the power p, so power p is the c1 square plus c1 square by 2 plus c2 square by 2, right? That we know about for such kind of a signal. And what is the c1 and c2 for this one? C1 is the amplitude of first. So this term is our c1 term, and this term is our c2 term. So if we find the power, so that becomes 11 square by 2 plus 11 square by 2. right? So it both are half half. So that means it is 11 square by 2, 2 times divided by 2. So it will be cancel out. So the left with 121 watt power. 11 square is 121. So the right answer over here is 121, right? Okay. Now this is a simple example. Now we will move to the next example. So next example in which you need to find the even component of the signals 1 plus t plus 3t square plus 4tq. Is it visible?
Yes, sir, it
Yes,
is
sir.
Okay. So how to find the even component of your signal? So even component of your signal, the equations that we need to follow is g of t is equal to 1 half g of t plus g of minus t. Now, what is the g of t and what is the g of minus t? First, we need to identify. So g of t is already given. G of t is given as a 1 plus t plus 3t square plus 4t cube. And g of minus t is 1 minus t plus 3t square plus sorry minus that is becomes a minus because t we replace with a minus t, so it becomes a minus 40q. Now if we add up this both g of t and g of minus t, if we add up this both, then it becomes a 1 1 t will be cancelled, that becomes a 60 square, and this is also cancelled, and it is remain as 2. So 2 plus 60 square, and if we divide by 2, because g of e is divided by this 1 by 2, then we left with 1 plus 3t square. So the right answer among this all is 1 plus 3t square. This is the right answer. So those who has written this answer, this is right answer. Now the third question is, what is the causal signal? So for causal signal is which kind of a signals that we have discussed, that the causal signal is a signal which do not depends on the past value, right? Which the signals causal, for the causal, which you can say the signal doesn't depends uh, on past value of the signal. So it doesn't depends on the past value of the signal. So if we see, if we put the various value here, it's a 2n. So we don't have to, this is not a causal signal because sorry, causal signal which doesn't depends on not past, sorry, future value, right? Doesn't depends on the future value of signal. So how you define the future value of the signal? So this depends on future value, because if you put n is equal to 1, right? So that becomes a x of 2n. So for 2n means 2 into 1. So that is the future value. Here also it's a 2 minus t. So if we are taking t is equal to minus 1, so this terms will become say x of 3. 3 is a future value because we are taking t is equal to minus 1. If we take the t is equal to minus 1, this 3 is a future value. Now for sine 2t, what happens? For the signals, if we take again the t is equal to, if we take the t is equal to 2, right? If we take the t is equal to 2, then here this becomes a sine of 4t. So that is even depends on this future value, that is even depends on future value. But this one, this t, y of t is equal to x of t by 2 or t half. So for such kind of a signal, what happens if you take any value of t, right? It is equal to minus 1. So that is of t of minus 0.5, right? It is a minus 0.5 is a not a future value. Then if you take the another value of 1, then it becomes a 0.5. So that is again a if we take the t is equal to 1, so that becomes a 0.5. So that 0.5 is equal a past value, not a future value. So here you can find if for any value, if you are taking that the signal doesn't depends on the future value of signal. So this is the right answer. This is the causal system. So y of t is equal to x of t by 2 is a causal system. Right? Okay. So this is the final answer. Now we will move to the next example 4. Define which of the following system is a linear system. So what we need to check is we need to check here this y1 of t. The first we take the x of t replace with x1 of t, x1 of t plus 5, right? And now we are taking this y2 of t is equal to 3 times x2 of t plus 5, x2 of t plus 5. And if we are adding this y1 of t plus y2 of t, that becomes a 3 times of x1 of t plus x2 of t plus 10. And as per the linearity principles, if we are adding the individual if we are applying the individual input of the signals and producing the individual output, and if we add up them all, so we are getting some output. And if we are giving the combining input, right, combining input means we are creating y3 of t is a combining output. So combining output is given as a combining input. So combining input is x1 of t plus x2 of t. And if we are getting the same answer, then the system is a linear system. But that will not happen because here there is a 10 and here we are getting the 5. So answer will not be matched. So this system is non-linear system. The same way, if you go for a second example, y of t is equal to exponential e raised to x of t. So in that case, if we are giving here this y1 of t is equal to e raised to x1 of t, y2 of t is equal to e raised to x2 of t, and if we are adding y1 of t plus y2 of t, then we are getting e raised to x1 of t plus e raised to x2 of t. And if we give the combining input as x1 of t plus x2 of t, so that is e raised to x1 of t plus x2 of t. So here we cannot separate it out, and if we are separate it, if we are separate it, it becomes e raised to x1 of t into e raised to x2 of t. But here there is e raised to x1 of t plus e raised to x2 of t. So that will not match again. So that is again example of non-linear system. Same happens for third case also. For a third case, we can say this y1 of t is it visible, right? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay, x1 square of t and y2 of t is equal to 3 times x square 2 of t. And if we combining this y1 of t plus y2 of t is equal to the 3 times of x1 square of t plus x2 square of t. And that's why if we are finding this y3 of t by applying the combining input, so combining input means 3 times of x of t is replaced with x1 of t at addition with x2 of t, that is the square. So this will not be match, equation 1 will not match with equation 2. So it means the system is again nonlinear. And we what we need to find it, we have to find the linear systems, but all the three given systems are non-linear system. So what is the right answer? So right answer is no any system which is provided here is a linear system. So the answer is none of above is the right answer. Which of the following is the time invariant system? So time invariant system means if we are applying this y of t where only t is replaced with t, so that we are getting the it's a t minus t, the signal is not delay. And if we delay the whole signal, so both looks similar. So if we delay both the signals extreme, so both will not be matched. So this is not the time invariant system. First one is not the time invariant system. The second one we can apply, it looks as a time invariant system, but the third is even not. Why sorry so the second is even not. What happens for the second one? we can say for a second one y of 1 minute. Y of t minus t is equal to x of t minus t into cos 20 of t minus t, and y of t at t is equal to only x of t minus t into cos of 20 t. Sorry, that is sorry, it's like that. First we are replacing every t with a t minus t, so that is the only x. This will not change, only input is delay, that remains same. And in second case, that becomes a only t is replaced with the t minus t. So in second case, that becomes x of t is not replacing, but this t is replacing with the t minus t. So we can say this will not be matched. So second is also non, it's not a time invariant system. Now we go move to the third example. So in third example, y of t minus t is actually x of 3 t minus t, and in second case y of t st is equal to x of 3t minus t. That is very important. That is x of this is the signal which is delay by some amount. Sorry, yeah, that is the first signal. Is this whole signal is a delay by some amount t, and here only the t is replaced with the t minus t, so both will not match. Here the signal is delay by the some amount t, capital T, so both will again not match. So third is not a time invariant system, but yeah, fourth you can say about is a time invariant system, because in case of a 4, if you are replacing as a t is equal to t, then that becomes a t minus t, and if we are delays the input by the same amount, then again 2 raised to x t minus t, so both will match. So the right answer is this one. The fourth one is the time invariant system. uh yeah, check which of the following system is a static system. This is very simple example. Which of the following system is a static system? So static system means what? The first we need to define. So static system is a systems which
Sir,
output. Yes.
sir, display is not screen is not visible.
Not visible. Okay. Okay. Now is it visible? Okay. 1 minute. Huh? I have some problem with this one. Let me. Is it visible now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So here we need to check which of the following system is a static system. So in a static systems, very simple principles that we need to follow to check whether the system is static or dynamic is that the output of the system is depends only on the present input of the systems. Then and then system is known as a static system. But if output doesn't depends on the present value of input, or may depends on the past and future value of input, so we can say the system is not a static system. So here we can say this is a dynamic system. The first one is a dynamic system because the output it depends on the past value. For a second also, because if the t is equal to 2, then it becomes x of 4. X of 4, for if t is equal to 2, then x of 4 is known as a future value. So that is again a dynamic system. Yeah, but what we can say about y of n is equal to x square of n. So y of n is equal to x square of n, where every n, if n 0 minus 1 minus 2 again, y of n it depends only on that. So this is the static system. So if you have to find the which one is static system, so right answer is this. Now the next example is the basis on the theory of energy and power signals, where every energy signal is power signal. So that is actually false, because the energy can be defined as minus infinity to infinity g of t whole square dt. and power can be defined as limit t approach to infinity 1 by t minus infinity to infinity g of t all square dt. You can take the absolute value here. Now, power can be identified for the signal which is periodic in nature and which has a infinite duration. So this has a infinite duration. And contradictory to this one, the energy of any signals can be found for only the signal for the signals which is of a finite duration signal. So this can be found for any signal which is of a finite duration. So you can see the signal which is of finite duration can never be infinite duration signals, and the signal which is have infinite duration which can never be considered as a finite duration signals. So we can generally write the statement which is contradictory to the statement which is written in the questions. No any energy signal, no any energy signal is a power signal, or if any signal is a power signal is not an energy signal. So no any energy signal is power signal. So whatever the statement which is written over here, it is contradictory to the right statement. So we can say the statement is false. The statement is false. Okay. Now we go to the next one. What is the time period for one cycle of following signal? Yeah, that is very important because here we have a true signal. G of t is equal to that is given here. This G of t is equal to the sine of 2t plus sine of 3t. So if you find the power of this signal, right? So what is sorry period of the signal? So which we can say is it 2t is equal to 2 pi, right? And here we can say this is 3t is equal to 2 pi, right? So it means the t when the t is equal to 2 pi by 2, or when this t is equal to 2 pi by 3, then one period can be completed. So that is when the t is equal to 2 to cancel pi for this case, and here 2 is equal to 2 pi by 3 case, but both signals are added together, and in such kind of a things we have to find the LCM of this. I means we need to find this is suppose T1 and this is T2. So we need to find something is multiply with the T1 and something is multiply with the T2. So we can have a common equations. So what we can say, we have to find this minimum value of NB, that is A into pi is equal to B into 2 pi by 3. We need to find the lowest multiplier, that is known as LCM. So what we can say here, we can say if the both will be equal when this A is equal to 2 and B is equal to 3, right? B is equal to 3. And then what is this common LCM? That is the 2 pi. That is the 2 pi. This LCM is the 2 pi, right? So the answer is the 2 pi is the common time period for both the signal. Means if you are added them, so they will repeat its cycles or they are periodic for the interval of this 2 pi. So this is the time interval over which they are periodic. So for that one, we can say this is the right answer. This 2 pi is the right answer. Now for the example 9, which of the following system is invertible system? Invertible system means if x of t is given to some system h of t, and then you are producing y of t. If you are giving the another inverse system of h inverse of t, then you are able to get your original signal back. If such kind of things can happen, then the system is known as an invertible system. It means if the input will be produced by output by some functions, and if the output can be reversible or can be again converted back to the input by taking the inverse of this transfer function, then the system is known as a invertible system. So for that one, we have already discussed, if you have a one to many solutions are there, right? One to many solutions are there, one to many, that is not a time invertible systems. For time invertible systems, one to one many to one is also not possible, because from many input you are getting here many input, you are getting a single output. That is even a problem. So one, if it's a one to many or many to one, then in both the cases it's a not invertible system. So for invertible systems, what is important, every system which is invertible, that is a one to one communication, means for one single unique input x of t, it is able to produce a single unique output y of t. So one to one mapping is required between the input signal and output signal. And if any things for that one, we can have a one-to-one mapping, then the system is known as a invertible system. So here we have not one-to-one mapping because it's x square of t. So we take the x of t as a minus 3, we are getting 9, and x of t as a 3, we are getting again 9. But y of t is equal to 3, means 3 are coming irrespective of input. Any input we have only single output 3. So many inputs we can have a single output. We can take x of t as a 1, 3, irrespective of x of t, we are getting output as a 3. So that is again non-invertible systems. For 3, y of t is equal to 3 times x of t. Yeah, this is the invertible systems, because for any unique input we can produce a unique output. So this is known as example of a invertible system. This is invertible systems. So the right answer is y of t is equal to 3 times x of t. Okay, then finally we headed with the last examples. In the last examples, we have to check whether the system is stable or not. So for stability systems, if we are applying the bounded input to the system, and if it is able to produce the bounded output, then the system is known as a stable system. So for the stable systems, what we need to check? We need to check ht square dt less, sorry, it's maybe ht only. Uh, that is ht dt less than infinity. That we need to check. We have to check the transfer function, and if the transfer function is does converse, so that we can say the system is a stable system. So if it does converse, then we can say the system is a stable system. Otherwise the system is not considered as a stable system. So for this one, if you go with this t plus 5 u of t, so you can definitely tell this because of this t does not converge, so that is not a stable system. You can apply for this. I'm not going in this lengthy process because of time constraints and all, but you can do, and most of the examples I already solved in a class. The second one is 2 plus e raised to minus 3 into u of t. This u of t will not converge because u of t is going from 0 to infinity, and they have the value of 0 to infinity, so that will even not converge. This e raised to minus 3 will converge because as the t approach to infinity, this e raised to minus 3t becomes a 0, right? But because of this 2 will not converge, because this 2 into u of t, and this 2 will constant, but u of t will be persist from 0 to infinity. So because of this, the second term, that will not converge and do not provide values less than infinity, it is up to infinity, so that is even not a stable system. uh, then the fourth one is h of n is equal to u of n, where we have already discussed this. This will not converge. This unit step function will not converge because it is from 0 to infinity. So that's why this is the not stable system. What left with us? The third system which left with us is a raised to h of n is equal to a raised to n, and a is a 0 to 1. So it means if we find a raised to 0, 0, and this is the value of n, and this is the value of h and a raised to n. So that is the 1. It's a 0 to 1. Now a is between 0 to 1. Very important. If this limit is different, a is greater than 1, so this will not converge, right? But in this case, what happens? A is lies within the 0 to 1. It means the value of a is a fractional amount, and for that one, the next value it is lesser, because more and more value of n, lesser and lesser value of a raised to n. Then the next value is even lesser. So finally, if we approach to up to infinity and very large value, so you see this a raised to n and approach to infinity, this a raised to n approach to 0. It means this one will converge. So that the system is the stable system. If this is the stable system, so definitely the final answer, right answer here is this one, third one. This one is the third one. This is the right answer. Yeah, so these are the these were the multiple kind of equations that we have solved. It has been 10 questions over there, and we have solved all these 10 questions, and we will give the mark according to this. I have even provided the right solution for that one. Now the remaining questions are not a multiple objective kind of equations, but they are the questions in which just ask for it. It's just a descriptive kind of equations, right? Where you need to solve the questions in your notebook, and then you have to upload. So we will go through this example also. So the first 11 question where you need to write whether the given system is LTI system. So what is the LTI system? So LTI, it means a linear, L for linear, T stands for a time, and I stands for a invariant. So if any systems which will follow these two criteria, one criteria is the linearity criteria and linearity criteria, and the second is the time invariant criteria. If both the criteria are simultaneously followed by any of the systems, so this system is known as a LTI systems. If any one of this one will satisfy, but the second one does not satisfy, then the system cannot be considered as a LTI system. So this is very important. So this linearity will follows, and time invariance, but the things will be follows, then the system is known as a LTI system. So for the first one, what we can say? The first one we can say is a time invariant system, because no, sorry, this one is a linear, right? A linear system, we can say linear, right? Because if you take y1 of t, x1 of t, y2 of t, x2 of t plus 2, and y1 of t plus y2 of t, x1 of t by 2 plus x2 of t by 2. So simply you can represent them as in form of individual components. So it is linear, but it doesn't time invariant. The reason is that if we take the y of t, then it becomes x of t by 2 minus t. So that becomes a y of t minus t, right? And if you take y of t, only replace t, that becomes x of t minus t by 2. So both will not match. So it is the time linear, but not time invariant. Or we can say time variant. Rather than not time invariant, we write the time variant. So for such kind of a systems, we cannot say it is not LTI system. It's not LTI. For the second case, we will go with the second case. Y of t is equal to x of t plus x of t minus 2. So in that case, what we can say, if we take the this equations, y1 of t is equal to x1 of t plus x1 of t minus 2, y2 of t is equal to x2 of t plus x2 t minus 2, and if we add up them, so it is linear. It looks a linear, right? Okay, now the secondly we discuss about whether it's a time invariant or not. So you can say, if we take this as per this example, if every t is replaced with t minus t, so that is again you will find by doing some exercise, you can say it's t minus t by 2 minus 2. And if we replace input is delayed by some amount, t minus t, so it is also delayed by the same amount. So for this systems, we can say it is the time invariant system. It is the time invariant system. So both the condition will be satisfied over here. So the second system, this system is considered as a LTI system. So first one is not a linear time invariant system, but the second one is a linear time invariant system. So second is LTI systems. Now question number 12 is a theoretical kind of equations where you need to write various properties of convolution. So what are the properties of convolution? The first property will tell if x of t is commutative property, if x of t convoluted with h of t, or h of t convoluted with x of t, both are same. You have to prove this, or maybe give some example for this. The second one is the associative property. So associative property, what the associative property will tell us? Associative property will tell us that if x1 of t is convoluted with x2 of t convoluted with x3 of t, that is equivalent to x1 of t convoluted with x2, or maybe like this one, or maybe like you are making a group like this, both looks the same. Then we may have a distributive property, and distributive property will tell us if x1 of t is convoluted with x2 of t and x3 of t, then it is equivalent to x1, sorry, suppose plus, so that is equivalent to x1 of t convoluted with x2 of t plus x1 of t convoluted with x3 of t. So this is the distributive property. The fourth property is if you are multiplying any signal with the impulse response, that you are getting the same signal, that is the x of t. The fifth property is the time delay property. If the input is delayed by some amount, output is delayed by the equal amount. So x of t multiply with h of t minus tau, we are getting the y is also delayed by the same amount, t minus tau. The sixth property is the Fourier transform property. If we are doing the convolution in time domain, so it is equivalent to the multiplication of the respective frequency component in the frequency domain. So this is the sixth property. So these are some examples of properties. You do not need to only invest the properties, but you have to explain this property by taking an appropriate example. So that will be allocated, I think, 4 to 5 marks, right? The Okay. So next question, maybe some time consuming example, but hopefully you have done this because it's a simple examples we have chosen for. We need to find the convolution for the two rectangular signals, and their mathematical expressions has been listed over here. G of t is equal to 1. So if you draw the signal g of t, it is 1 from 0 to 2. This is your g of t signal. The second signal which is given as h of t, so h of t is given as a 1 minus 1 to 3. So that is started from minus 1 to 3, and here it is 1. This is 1. This is our h of t. Now we can say as a tau, if it is a function of tau, so it is a g of tau. This is tau. It is h of tau. So now you can start the convolution, but whenever you are starting the convolution, so that first what you will do, I'm not calculating all this example because it's a time consuming process, but I just to tell you how you can do this. That becomes after folding this signal, that becomes starting from this minus 1 is 1 and this 3 becomes a minus 3. But we cannot start the overlapping from here, right? The reason is that if we are going to start the overlapping from here, then they have already some overlapping. We have to start from an initial point of overlapping. So for initial point of overlapping, we are shifting further, and this point is a t point, and this point is known as a t minus 4 point. So right, and we are shifting further, so we are taking t is equal to minus 1. So after this, taking the t is equal to minus 1, so t is equal to minus 1, then the signal basically looks like starting from here. So we are shifting the signal further from left side, that is the 4, and this point is now becomes as a 0, right? This is our point t, and this is the point of t minus 4. So now this is ready for to, it becomes h of t is replaced with minus 1 minus 1 minus tau. So now you have to do this convolution, and finally after this convolution, right, what you are basically getting, so you are basically getting some triangular signal starting from minus 1, and where it will be ended when this shifting t will cross this t minus 4 will cross this boundary of 2, or 4, 2 means 6. So up to minus 1 to 6, you are able to get some kind when it is the maximum when it is maximal match. So you are getting some trapezoid kind of a patterns over there, right? This trapezoid kind of a patterns. I have not solved this example, so I don't know all this value, but whenever I am solving this examples, I will let you know what are these values and all. But that way you are getting some trapezoid kind of a patterns, right, by solving this. Okay, so this is the example which you need to find the convolution of this one. Now we are headed with the last two examples. The first one in which you have to draw the magnitude and phase spectrum for a periodic square wave signal G of t, right? G of t, where G of t is given as a one from the cycle. So if you draw this signal, it is 1 from 0 to t half. It is from 0 to t half, and it is a minus 1 from t half to t. So you can consider the signal would be like this. It is plus 1 from this range, and it is a minus 1 for this another range. So this is a square wave, and here also this is a square wave. So what you need to find, you have to draw the phase spectra and the magnitude spectra. So this example will be, I think, taken many times by Sony sir, and in that case we have to find this is the n omega 0, that is the Cn. So every value, discrete value of omega 0, 2 omega 0, 3 omega 0, we are getting some values here that you need to list it out, right? This is your magnitude spectra. And what is the phase spectra and how you will find this? So magnitude spectra is Cn square is equal to square root of n square plus bn square. So first you need to find the three components. Okay, but before this, I just explained the phase spectra also. So the phase spectra is the graph of theta n, which is the tan inverse Bn by n, because A0 doesn't have any phase because it's a DC component. So that's only two components are considered, Bn and n. And here the C0 is simply defined as A0. And so if you draw this graph of theta n versus the discrete component of frequency 0, omega 0, 2 omega 0, etc. So here we have this graph is known as a phase spectra. So phase versus frequency graph is known as a phase spectrum, and magnitude versus the different frequency component graph is known as a magnitude spectrum. So here we have two graphs of this magnitude spectra and phase spectra, and but we require this important components of A0, N, and Bn. So the step number one, what you need to do here is find A0, An, and Bn, right? How you will find this? So A0 is equal to 1 by T0, 0 to T0, G of T dt. G of T is already given to you. That is a square wave signals, and its mathematical expression is already given. So you have to find this A0. Then we need to find An. An is 2 by T0, 0 to T0. G of T into cos n omega 0 T dt. And then finally we need to find a Bn. A Bn is equal to 2 by T0, 0 to T0, G of T into sine n omega 0 T dt. And then finally we need to find the Cn. Cn is equal to square root of An square plus Bn square. And then we need to find the theta n is equal to tan inverse Bn by n. So these are the steps of process that you need to find this Bn. First we find this one A0 and Bn, and then we can couple up this with the amplitude spectrum and phase spectrum. So it's a right. You can go with this one. And the last example, question which has been asked in the exam was explain the Parseval theorem in a detail. Parseval theorem will tell us the total energy of individual component is actually addition of energy. So if this any signals can be represented by its magnitude as a C0, C1, C2 like this. So total energy of any signals can be defined as a addition of this individual frequency component C0, C that is the Cn square, n is equal to 1. That is known as a Cn square, right? addition, but every cos and sine omega has some energy too, so that is defined by Cn square by 2. So that way you can find the energy of any sequence, and that shows the Parseval theorem. I hope you have enjoyed the paper during your examinations, and most of you have solved this most of the examples of this one. So now we are going to conclude this session over here. Just to be with me, I'm sign in from my desktop device, and where I will take your presence and all the things. Okay, so be with me. Okay, hello. Okay, so I have taken your presence, and now your result will be displayed. One minute, huh? I'll sign in from two devices, so that's why there will be some echo. So I have taken your presence through here, and now you can leave the meeting. We will conclude this session over here, and your exam, this results of your examination will be declared very soon, maybe within this weekend. So, okay, have a nice day. Goodbye to all of you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.